All right, so without a question, I don't even have to go over scales yet. This is by far the heaviest load I've ever hauled in my life, and definitely the heaviest load I've done since starting this business. Holy crap. My tires, which are 80 PSI trailer tires, are not flat by any stretch, but definitely kind of compressing at the bottom, and it is not easy to stop. So I'm a little bit terrified of what I'm doing here. I really wish I wasn't hauling this load right now, but you live and you learn. They filled probably 15 to 16 yards of those ceramic tiles. So I don't know what that weighs. I mean, I will be honest here, I'm pretty confident that I'm at least 5 or 6 tons here, which is probably pushing the limits of what I'm legally allowed to do on top of what I want to do. Let's just say a little prayer for Joe. Make sure he does this job safely and gets it to the dump. We're gonna test out that free roofing tiles conversation we were having earlier. So Lord help us, get us there safely, and we'll give you an update soon. She is not happy. You want to hear the worst noise that you could possibly hear while being an operator? So I think we made it out alive. I can't see any real bends to the axle, so I think we're okay there. I definitely got a bend to my support bar now, which I didn't have before, which is really annoying, but I can take that. That's not a big deal for me. All right, so what is the greatest day of junk hauling for me also just turned into the absolute sketchiest and most dangerous thing that I could have ever imagined that I would haul. So to put it in perspective, I'm non-CDL, so I'm under 26,000 pounds. I'm hauling a 14,000 pound trailer with a Ram 2500. So all in all, rolling over the scales, my truck is rated to be just under 22,000 pounds. It's 21, I think 750, give or take. I just weighed in at 36,000 pounds. It was actually 36 and change. I had to have the heavy machine operator scoop out stuff from the bin, not once, but twice, because I couldn't lift it, even after he had dumped half of the bin out. That's how crazy it was. Now, this is my scissor lift. This is not my telescopic lift. In the future, we're gonna learn from our mistakes. 100% of roofing jobs, I'm getting the telescopic in there. We're not messing around with what I call big black. It's my big Tex unit anymore. Never again am I putting a 20-yard unit at a roofing job. Just not going to do it. Those guys don't care. They're going to fill it because it's there, and doesn't matter to them. They're just putting stuff in it and calling it a day. I'm afraid that my truck's damaged. I'm afraid that my trailer's damaged. I'm just annoyed by the whole thing, okay? Now, I am empty now. I am driving down the road. I feel like I made it out without bent axles, which how I did that, not a clue. Don't have any idea. I am in total shock that the wheels did not literally fall off of this thing while I was driving it down the road. I also want to point out that driving it was not that difficult. I mean, it was definitely, you could feel it. Driving it was not difficult. Stopping three separate times, I was scared due to the fact that it wasn't stopping like I expected it to. I had the trailer brake up to 10 gain toward the end, and it literally was taking me, I don't even want to make a number guess because I have no idea. I was applying the brakes and not even a third of the way stopped when I imagined I would have been stopped, I'll put it that way. I skipped multiple times. I could feel the brakes of the trailer hitting the ABS. I could feel the truck hitting the ABS. I put the pedal to the floor at one point. I put the pedal to the floor 3 different times, but at one point where it was literally like, I feel like this isn't even gonna go when I put it down. Absolutely terrifying. So I'm swapping out the bin. I do have to bring it back for the final portion of the job. But dear Lord, that was terrifying. I'm not even playing around. Wow. So learn from my mistakes. I know I'm gonna learn from this job 100%. The tires are back to looking normal. I'm driving down the road in a straight line. So, knock on wood, even though I don't have any in the vehicle, I think I may be all right. This job is one of those jobs where you just kind of learn while you go. I'm upset at myself, honestly, because I kind of knew that going into it. I looked up, so this is where one of my biggest mistakes was. Google's an amazing thing. You can find all kinds of information, but you also need to be wise when you're doing it. So when the customer called me, said I had a 40 square roof job, and I looked up 40 square roof job, I believe it quoted me shingles weight and not tile weight. So when I looked it up online, it said 6 tons, which I expected to go in 2 loads. So I figured I'd be okay. You put 6 tons back there, I can stretch the extra ton. Excuse me. Stretch the extra ton onto the bin, and feel okay with it. Not an extra 11 tons. That's a little excessive. But yeah, it's, just another day, learning experience. As far as I can tell, we're coming out unscathed. Hopefully that is the same feeling that I have here in a few days or in a week after I've gotten a chance to really break this thing in again. I did bend my support bar. I don't know if that was done from the job or if the heavy equipment operator bumped it, which he probably did. But I ain't mad at the guy by any stretch of the imagination. I put myself in a stupid spot. He got me out of that stupid spot. And if my biggest scar from this job is a bent support bar in the back that is removable and replaceable, I am the luckiest man on the planet, because that literally could have destroyed my trailer. Destroyed. Could have broken axles, could have popped tires, could have flipped me driving down the road when it popped a tire and I had a ton of weight behind me. I could have got pulled over by a law enforcement, and I would have, I don't know what the penalty is, but I probably could have lost my license right there. I mean, that's not a joke at all. So yeah, you live and you learn. Don't bring 20-yard containers out to roofers, especially when they're doing tile, because that was just stupid. It was absolutely stupid. But we're gonna learn and get better on the next one. Well, we are on our way home from a very long day, and it's only 2:25, so it's not that long of a day, but a long day. I left this morning at 6:30. Brought what I thought was just a single booked trailer to a house. Was asked to haul their trailer and dump it. So dumped that. came back, picked up my first bin that they had already filled, brought that to dump it. That was the, God, I just am, I'm in total shock that I can even say these numbers, because it is mind-blowing to me. One, that it happened, and two, that I'm not broken down on the side of the road. That is amazing to me. Thankfully, I have all new equipment, so that's probably helped keep me together quite a bit. But my truck should be broken, my trailer should be broken. That's how heavy that bin was. 25,000 pounds. Payload was somewhere in the ballpark of 5,400 pounds on a truck that's rated at 3,700 pounds. I'm in at 2,500, so be nice to your equipment, guys. I mean, I can kind of smile now, and I'm not gonna have a heart attack simply because it's already done. The trailer's parked at my house. I've already lifted the stuff out of the bin. I've reparked the container, so it's not weighing on me nearly as much. But for the last 2 hours, when I finished that dump, brought it to the house, picked up the other one, drove it out to the job site, all that, I've literally just had a tightness in my chest from how much strain I put on my equipment, putting a strain on me. I mean, it literally, when you're the physical, I have paid every dollar. This truck is cash purchased by me. That trailer was cash purchased by me. Every dollar of my equipment is owned by me. It's not owned by a bank. In that scenario, the one I'm hauling right now is owned by a bank, but that's a different story. It is so painful to hear. It's like someone smacking your child, you know? It's just so painful to even experience what I just experienced, because I expected 6 tons, maybe 7 tons on a job or two, but 12 and a half, 13 tons, that is so much more than I ever anticipated. So I have made a rule right now. Hold me to it. If you ever see me break this rule, unless it's someone that I very specifically know or have worked with in the past, smack me upside the head, call me an idiot, unsubscribe from the channel. You tell me what you need to do, but I will never rent out my 20-yard bin to a roofer. Never, 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 never again rent out my 20-yard bin to a roofer. My 15-yard bin, it's got a telescopic jack on it so it can lift quite a bit more. It's rated for another 1,000, 2,000, let's say, pounds. And it's half the wall height. You'll see, if you've seen them before, you understand what I'm saying. The 20-yard bin is a 4-foot metal wall and another, 2 foot almost of wood wall. And then my 15-yard bin is 2 foot of metal wall and another 2 foot of, give or take, a little over 2 foot. I think it's like 2 and a quarter, 2.5 of wood wall. So the roofers aren't going to go above the metal wall. They might flirt with it a little bit, but at some point when you get to the wood, there's gaps in it. Hopefully they're smart enough. I mean, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But either way, even if you went all the way up the wood, it's never going to reach the capacity that one was loaded to. They had the full 4-foot metal wall completely loaded, and then a little bit up into the wood, which I should have known better. This is just one of those lessons I'm going to take with me to the bank and never run into again, hopefully. But you can't expect people to care about your stuff like you care about it. So those roofers are never going to stop and go, oh, this thing looks like it might be heavy for the operator. I'm going to stop right here and have him re-dump it. They're not going to do that. They're going to get their job done. They're going to dump those tiles in that bin, and you're going to be the one picking up the slack when it eventually runs into a problem. So learn from me. Please, 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 please learn from me. You do not want to be in the position that I was just in. My tires were not pancaked necessarily, but they were pancaked. I mean, you literally, at the bottom, were seeing a squished tire. My doors would not open and hook because the tires were pushing the doors out farther. I had to lift the bin. Actually, I take that back. I didn't even get to lift the bin. I opened the doors and let some of the tiles fall out before I could latch one of the doors. The other still wouldn't latch. And then I had to eventually, after I had dumped enough of it and the tires got that little bit of rise, I eventually got to the point where I could latch that door so I could drive to the heavy equipment operator so he could dump some of those tiles out of my bin. Not only did I see him once, I had to see him twice, because after he had dumped what I thought was about half the bin, I still went to the spot to dump it and still couldn't lift the bin. So I probably was somewhere in the 15 to 18,000 pound range after he had gone in and scooped out some of those tiles. Now I will say, I watched the video after, because I recorded. I asked him. He was really nice. I asked the heavy equipment operator if I could film him emptying out the bin. When I rewatched it, he definitely bumped my support bar. I'm not even mad at the guy. That guy did me such a huge favor, because I would be so royally screwed had no one done that for me. I don't even know what I would have done. I mean, you're literally talking, I could have been there for days dumping a 20-yard container with flooring or with roofing tiles. It was such a mountain to overcome. Dear Lord, I'm so grateful. Thank you, Jesus, that everything got back to the house safely. I'm in a pretty good spot, and I made a little shy of $2,000 today. When everything's all said and done, probably $1,500. Oof, excuse me. And I am super, super grateful, like so grateful for the gentleman this morning that told me to bring it to that, I think it's, I forget what the acronym is. It's PAW, P-A-W. I live in Pasco, so it's Pasco something. But it's like a materials place where you pick up dirt and rock and stuff like that. And they take in the ceramic, I think it's ceramic, I don't know. It's not ceramic, whatever. The roofing tile, they take it for free. Amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I paid $167. I thought it was $141, but after tax and there's a 4 or 5% card fee, it was $167 for 3.5 tons. Earlier, I just did 12.5 tons on that load. So not only would that have, I mean, he's gonna pay. He hasn't paid yet, so we gotta cross that bridge. I literally could have made $0 doing this job if the client screwed me and didn't pay the overage, and I had to pay to dump that load before. What is that? Roughly three times more. So call it, that would be somewhere in the ballpark of $600 of dump fees on $1,000 worth of job, plus my full day's work, plus the fuel. And I've driven everywhere today. It's been a long day of driving. I mean, we're probably talking $150 in fuel, plus my time, which at this point we're up to 6 hours. Yeah, 6 hours. I'm so grateful that gentleman had pointed out that place. Would have been nice had he pointed out before I paid the $167, but that's here nor there. I'm okay. I came out all right. They got their money. I got a cool little tip for the next time, and now I don't have to think about it. But insanity, absolute insanity. Like and subscribe, follow the channel. I know I have basically 0 subscribers right now, so I hope I'm not talking to nobody. I want you to learn from my mistakes, and I want you to be out there making money. And as the great Robert from Hustle Nation says, who's got your money?